So welcome in 2021. So I think many what we have done on New Year's Eve is greeting our loved ones, our relatives, to say, you know what, hope 2021 is going to be a much better year than 2020. And I'm sorry to break it, but I think we're not quite there yet. First of all, I apologize for my last video. I was just like shooting inside, and the reason for that is of course what I will share with you as well in this personal live channel updates, and then we continue to talk more about reconnecting with the soul family, because many of us empaths, high sensitives, light workers, starseeds, we of course always had that longing for coming home, dealing with this homesickness. But the question is this homesickness related to a place here on planet Earth or a state of being? And right now, with everything that's currently going on our planet, with the crisis we are in, humanity and everything, we can often feel a little bit isolated and even alienated, okay, from it. Like we don't really feel like, you know, is this really the place where I truly belong? I mean, we didn't really feel already we belonged here to this overly capitalized society that's always about hurting others in order to get what you want. But that of course is changing, but this change doesn't really come with a smooth transition, to say it in the least. So let's talk about 2021, the Great Reset, the Soul Family, but before we do it, a little bit of a channel update. So of course I started with this channel in the early beginnings with the idea, let's say, hey, I want to have this channel about where I can share my thoughts, my ideas, my visions, my feelings, my emotions, everything related of course to my own spiritual journey, so we can talk about it, but also share my insights about my perspectives on things, whether you resonate with it or not. And then that slowly evolved into, let's say, hey, I wanna really step up with my creativity and go out in nature, because nature are of course great places where we can connect with the spirit of nature itself, connect with our own spirit. It's great for relaxation, rejuvenation, re-energizing and contemplation. Now the reality is that I'm in London in the UK. UK has, first of all, is dealing with his Brexit. Another thing is of course, like right now the messages is that the UK is counting 93,000 people dying from this virus we are dealing with. Whether that is true or not, I don't know. I'm not here to debate about that. But many of course are scratching their heads like, wait a minute, I hear in my local area it is literally crawling with people. Now that of course also has to do is that our freedom of movement has been very, very limited. Normally I would take my car, drive out in the countryside and start hiking, walking, shooting videos and all of that. Now that is not really officially permitted at the moment because of our lockdowns and everything. We get into a lockdown and then we get into a higher tier restrictions, and then they see it's still not working, and then we have another lockdown, and so on and so on and so on. So since the last few weeks or so, I've been really like feeling stuck at home, and this feeling stuckness has really been daunting on me a little bit lately. That's why I didn't really feel motivated, inspired to continue making this video, hence my last video just really in my living room, and I just really couldn't be bothered with it anymore. So personal channel update, I think I won't be really much in a situation where I can show the beautiful relaxing countryside and nature of England at the moment, but I'm more like limited here to my local parks, which means is that I also will not really been able to really tune into my creativity in shooting b-rolls and everything, because it's simply way too busy. There are dog walkers, there are runners, there are families with children and so on. Okay, so that's really the channel updates. Live updates, well, goes hand in hand of course, but yeah, I've been a bit in a state of inertia, feeling stuckness, lack of motivation, not really being able to jump out of the bed, and feeling just really apathetic about everything. However, with that being said, besides that state of being, there's also of course an opposite, because even when I feel there's not much movement currently going on in our life, of course we can create ourselves the illusion like, hey, there's no movement in life, physical movement. I go and, you know, really withdraw into myself, feeling apathetic about everything, about the whole situation. I'm always someone, you know, that likes to go out and travel, go to places in order to receive the stimulation. Quite a while ago I spoke about being highly sensitive, was also a sensation seeker, meaning we constantly seek for that balance between receiving new kind of stimulations while also giving ourselves the space to be alone in solitude and everything. Now that balance doesn't really exist at the moment in my life. That's why I feel a little bit under stimulated, which can cause these feelings of, you know, being apathetic, not creative, not inspired, not motivated. So that's kind of really what the state is. Now let's talk about 2021, and then we slowly move over to moving and reconnecting with our soul family. Okay, as you see, I just really do like short walks because it's so unbelievable busy here. I'm even here in open space, Richmond Park, but if I go a little bit closer, Wimbledon Common, it kind of feels like walking into a local Asda or Tesco, which is like similar to Walmart if you're in the USA. It's just so crowded everywhere. So it's not really so much of a joyful, blissful place for quiet contemplation. But anyway, 2021, I just finished watching a 30-minute video from Teal Swan, great spiritual thought leader, who spoke about it. And what she said, of course, she goes more to depth at the nitty-gritty of lots of details. I'm more of a holistic thinker who thinks more in, you know, visions and more from a broader perspective. So, you know, I don't really have a good debate with a realist who thinks about the facts and the figures and is really going into the depth of all, because I just really tune into a more intuitive state and make my conclusions out of that. However, 2021, I think 2020, it was really like opening up the door of this major transition. Many of us, we wish 2021 could be, you know, going back of how it was. I think we already passed way beyond that stage. There's nothing going back anymore. It's moving forwards to a whole other level, stepping into a whole other new transformation. And what I mean is that yeah, a higher level of adaptability. And I think the whole message that I want to share with you in this video is that I'm not really so much into the nitty-gritty of the daily news and everything that's currently going on, because half of it I'm not buying it. I don't believe it, mainly because I'm quite intuitive. And you could say, well, you know, you are an idealist. Sure, you're right about that. Maybe you're just hiding from reality. Well, you know, what is reality? Of course, reality is highly debatable, especially when you have been experienced forms of gaslighting in your childhood. Then you start to recognize the gaslighting that is currently played out in our mainstream media. And also, of course, like, hey, more than 10 years ago I was really into digging into this information about New World Order and everything. So many of us already realized, like, you know, this is part of a game, of an agenda being played out, and God knows if this virus was really naturally coming from nature or it has been created to depopulate everything. Anyway, 2021, I think, where we get exposed to becoming very self-reliant, creating a whole other level of resilience and mental, emotional, spiritual. So as you can see here, I'm just really walking in open fields. For me, it's impossible to do a video without people crossing my lines, and that's what I feel like. It becomes annoying for me really to be creative at the moment. I feel like I'm not in a mood creating at all, but I just really must continue going on, because this is really the only place I can currently go to unless I start creating in my own little room, which I do not fancy doing so. But to be honest, it's a kind of like disturbing my flow of what it is that I wanted to say, my creative intuitive flow. That's why maybe you see less going on coming up on this channel, and I start focusing more on creating these guided meditations that I've been doing lately. I've created a few of them on my other channel, and this is really something I can do at home. And probably what I will continue to do on this channel is reflect on these guided meditations to see what has been going on, what I've been receiving, because what I've been starting to explore is that when I go and sit still and let these visions come to me, I feel like I'm more like channeling in information. And that's really the message that I wanted to share with you, is that with everything that's currently going on in the world, I mean 2021, I mean we have just opened up a door, and I think for the next 5 or 10 years until 2030 we're going to see so much transformation, political, economical conflicts, chaos, climate change. That's also really the visions I've been seeing in one of my latest meditations about that I've recorded on the 21st of December. It really involved a lot of planetary healing, and what I felt is that really the earth is like bursting up, bursting open. So I think that what we're currently going through will shake things up so tremendously in our collective, but even that will also play a major role in our galactic transformation as well. And really the message that I wanted to share with you is that let's not involve too much in all the human drama, but just really see it as a bystander and see what's going on. That's really how I currently look at everything. I mean, I see like a new news update, 93,000 has passed on, death from COVID-19 and everything, and I feel like, oh, okay. I feel a bit like a bystander. I'm watching a movie, I'm watching Netflix or whatever, you know, I'm a bit like a bystander. And I think many of us feel like that, you know, like now the USA and everything, the White House and everything, it's like watching a movie. It's like watching a big giant shit show and everything that's currently going on. And it is sad, it is a reality that's currently going on, but at the same time we can also open up and tune into different realities that actually seems to go beyond the world we have known about so far. And that's really the invite and the information I want to share with you in this video, is that is what I will be focusing more on. I feel more intuitively connected with Arcturians. Of course there are many other ascended beings who are here to help us, to assist us, and can give us new perspectives on life, on everything, help us with the working out the emotional state, can help us to lift the spirit body, the light body, the energy body, which can help us to stay grounded, centered, connected with our own inner being, and then we stay, you know, more, I don't know, more centered in our own space and just really look at everything that is just like passing by. Okay, well, volcanoes are erupting, we have earthquakes which are causing tsunamis, lands are being flooded, economic systems, the dollar is collapsing, okay, we have Brexit, which is causing more violence, and everything, which is also affecting European Union, euro is trembling down, okay, more investors are jumping onto cryptocurrency, we see new world governments coming up, China, whatever, you name it, new currencies that is going to be globally accepted. All these changes, economically, political, socially, we see it happening, we participate in it a little bit, but at the same time we are also exploring this different reality which can help us, to assist us into this transition in moving into a much more advanced society, advanced civilization. But it's not gonna be without a fight. This fight might go on for the next few years, probably 5 years, 5 to 10 years. So yeah, that's really what we are moving into, and that's of course really what I will continue to share with you as we are moving on to this as well. Sometimes I take a glimpse of what is happening with humanity right now, but again, I always want to give reminders of of what it is that we can do with our minds and our spirits and our soul, and that we are so much more to that, and really opening up to this as well. Anyway, if you want to follow this latest meditation I did, I just posted quite recently, you can go check it out. I've noticed it's a little bit of a softer version of the one I did on the 21st of December, which was really much more about planetary healing and everything. This one is more about, working with our soul families, raising our light body, our becoming more the light, the light version, raising our light quotient. That was what this meditation is all about. So that's really what we should be doing right now. Anyway, I'm going to leave it with this one. Take care for now. Bye bye.